This is going to be a quick tutorial on how to read notes on the bass clef staff. If you have not already seen the treble clef video, I would suggest you go back and watch that video first, because there is going to be important information from that will be tied into this as well. So let's go ahead and look at the bass clef and look at the spaces of the bass clef. As opposed to the treble clef, we have a different phrase that we use. We actually have two we can use. For the spaces of the bass clef, we have all cows eat grass. Going from the bottom to the top space, all cows eat grass, or ACE G. That's one way you can figure out the spaces of the bass clef. Moving on to the lines, we have great burritos don't fall apart. So from the bottom line to the top line, great burritos don't fall apart, G, B, D, F, A. Those are the note names of the lines of the bass clef. Now, keep in mind that these are going to be very different phrases than what we use for the treble clef, and actually we can look at them side by side. So for the treble clef sayings, we have space and face, line and fine. Those sayings are going to rhyme to help you figure out what notes those are. For the bass clef, we don't have rhyming schemes. We just have these unique phrases to help us out. So just a reminder, for the treble clef spaces, you say looking for a space, look at your face, F-A-C-E. Whereas with the bass clef, you say all cows eat grass, or ACE G. And for the lines, for the treble clef lines, it is looking for a line, every good boy does fine, E, G, B, D, F from the bottom to the top. The bass clef lines, we have great burritos don't fall apart, G, B, D, F, and A. Very important to distinguish these two, especially when we are singing, because tenors and basses, mostly basses, will be using the bass clef, whereas sopranos, altos, and sometimes tenors will be using the treble clef. So you need to know which clef you're looking at in order to figure out what note am I looking at. On that, let's look at some note examples. We have the bass clef, we have this note. Now let's go through that process to figure out what note this is. Remember, the very first thing you do is figure out what clef am I in. We know we're looking at the bass clef today. Okay, so now that you know that you're in the bass clef, you have to think about what are the phrases we use for the bass clef. And that is, for lines, great burritos don't fall apart, and spaces, all cows eat grass, or ACE G. Then you look at this actual note and figure out, is that note sitting on a line or a space? And in this case, we have it sitting in a space. So now we are going to use that phrase for the spaces, all cows eat grass, or ACE G, to help us find this. And remember, you spell it from the bottom space to the top space, all cows eat grass, or ACE G. So all cows eat. You can stop there. You know that this note is E. How about for a line? Same process every time. What clef are we in? We are in the bass clef. What phrases do we have to use? Well, line is great burritos don't fall apart. If it's on a space, all cows eat grass, or ACE G. We know that looking at this, it is sitting on a line, or the line is going through the note. So we need to use the phrase for the lines, which is great burritos don't fall apart. That is how we figure out that this is A. Now, if it goes above or below the staff, we can use the same method that we use for the treble clef. So if you need a reminder on that, go check out the end of the treble clef video, and that will help you in this as well, because you can continue going up and you can continue going down using the same method. I hope this was helpful to you, and feel free to use this on your assignment or just in general practice. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.